Just the younger generation coming of age, and times will soon be better? If this is your feeling, I'm afraid you're in for a rude awakening. The things that are happening in America today are like a Sunday school picnic compared to that which will take place within the next 24 months unless revival breaks out in our country. Tens of millions of Americans will be shot down like flies in our towns. Many of you listening to me today are going to see hundreds of dead bodies on the streets of your hometown. We are engaged in a tremendously important race against some of the most powerful forces. Whoever wins this race will have dominion over our children, our homes, and our churches. Are you tired of running against the powerful evil forces and about ready to give up? If so, then what will you do when communism enters the race? It too has great plans for your children, your home, and your church. In the days of Jeremiah, over 2,500 years ago, God's chosen people of Israel were going down the road of life as if everything were all right. Although God's prophets repeatedly warned them to resist the evils of their day, they paid no attention to them until suddenly disaster came. They were invaded by Babylonian soldiers who beat them and enslaved them and left their homes in ruins. Their temple was destroyed. Hundreds of thousands were killed, and the rest were carried as slaves to far-off Babylon. In like manner, many people in America today are walking down the journeys of this life, unmindful of the present turbulence or the dangers that lie ahead of them. It seems as if they will not be alerted until communism marches up behind them and runs them down. When communism comes, these people will make a run for their lives and attempt to escape. They'll put up a good fight, but it'll be too late. They'll not be able to defend themselves from these terrible, ruthless killers who will not stop until they have trampled them down beneath their powerful heels. Furthermore, their children will be helpless victims in their hands. Communists do not regard the lives of boys and girls any more than the lives of their parents. They'll be under constant pressure to yield to their atheistic demands. If they refuse to yield, they too must be liquidated. Do these things seem far-fetched to you? If you lived in Russia or China or Cuba, they would not seem so. The citizens of these countries for many years have felt the iron heel of communism upon their daily lives. And unless we have some rapid changes in our country, our easygoing life of 40 hours a week workload and 2 or 3 weeks of paid vacation a year will soon be over. We too will be on the same schedule of every communist nation on earth. You will be at work by 5 o'clock in the morning. You'll work until 8 o'clock at night. You'll be forced to work under armed guards continually. You won't work 5 days a week. You won't work 6 days a week. Instead, you'll work 7 days a week, 363 days out of the year. You'll only have 2 days a year off. Those 2 days will be used to praise the communist takeover. Time will weigh heavy upon you, and the hands of the clock will seem to stand still. Even heavier on your heart will be the memory of seeing children lying dead in the streets. Who are these children? They are Christian boys and girls who refuse to give up their faith in Christ. Had they yielded to the demands to become atheistic communists, they could have lived. Yet because they chose to remain steadfast to Jesus Christ, they had to be annihilated to keep them from contaminating the minds of other boys and girls. Perhaps you're saying, I would not permit this kind of thing to happen. How could you stop it from happening? If you try to interfere